All right, welcome back to Making Picks. My name is Nathan. We're here with Mark and our special guest, Phil. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man.
What's going on, Phil? What's going on, Nathan? How are you?
Good.
So I guess this is a little bit of kind of like a special bonus edition of Making Picks, kind of like a prime time big event coming up in a day. I think we'd be a little remiss if we didn't necessarily talk a little Masters, kind of like golf. This is actually going to be the first show of Making Picks. I mean, we've done basketball, we've done hockey, we've done football. This is officially our first golf show. So it's really kind of like the first, big major golf event of 2021. It's one of kind of like the majors. We'll get Phil's take in a couple of seconds here. I mean, I guess the Players Championship is also a well-renowned kind of like a tournament going amongst the players here. But hey, let's see here. I mean, not that bad for college basketball for me last week. 2 out of 3. So I'm kind of like officially 23 for 43 in terms of my picks, exactly 500. On the flip side out of here, it's another 3 for 3 performance for you. So who the hell knew that you knew a lot about Houston and Baylor?
Apparently. So we were 2 picks away from going 10 for 10.
Yeah, as a team, we were 2 off. So obviously, I missed my number 10 pick, and I believe it was either like our 1 or 2 pick that
it was
missed as well.
Number 2 number 2 got missed.
But overall we finished in second place. So I'm not sure who that person is. I mean, we can very easily find it out here. The only person who had an opportunity to claim the grand prize, as discussed last week, didn't win because they didn't, like the video and drop a comment in the comment box. So to hell with them,
Yep, can't win if you don't play.
There you go. But anyway, pretty exciting kind of day. Today we have Phil on as our special kind of guest. Guys, I'm working on some technology issues on my end here, so I apologize for coming across a little dark or cloudy. But hey, this is why we brought kind of Phil in, to make sure that people can look at something a little bit more prettier than me. I mean, look at that beard. It's great.
Well,
but he's got his green jacket on.
If you know my Twitter handle, it's Beard of Knowledge. That's why my niece ripped some of it off. She was playing tug of war with my beard. So we had to cut some of it off. So 6-year-old girls are pretty darn strong. We'll just say.
But anyway, I mean, I know you guys kind of like through the Eagles podcast that you guys put out here. I mean, who kind of like new here? I mean, the teams that I kind of like hate the most here. I just do very well in terms of networking with the guys kind of like in the Philadelphia area. I mean, from an innovation and for people who are willing to collaborate and do joint ventures and things like that here, I really got to hand it to the Philadelphia area. But Phil, anyway, pleasure connecting to having you on. If you don't mind, before we dive into the golf stuff here, just give us a little bit of a rundown on what you're doing with the Birds kind of like a podcast. I believe it's aatbirds.com is where you're kind of like going to find your site. But in addition to that here, you spend a lot of time putting out a very good quality, golf podcast. Give us a little bit of an overview of who you are, where people can find you, and the projects that you're working on.
Absolutely. Again, I appreciate it. This is not an Eagles green jacket for everybody watching. This is my Masters coat. You have to win the Masters to get one of these, just so you know. I stole this from Tiger Woods' closet, but he doesn't know that yet. I'm one of the co-owners and co-founders of All About the Birds. It's a podcast network based out of Philadelphia. And like Mark said, it's aatbirds.com and on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We go live every Wednesday night talking Eagles and football, but I also am very proud of the golf show that myself and my friend Jason Sullivan put together. We're live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. It's called Fairway to Heaven, and we just talk fantasy and gambling, golf, and we're just 2 guys that are just huge, passionate golfers. And golf is a sport that's untapped potential in the gambling and fantasy market because people don't realize, you don't have to wait till football season again to start making money again. There's a lot of money to be made. And there's a lot smaller fields out there. So we really we've been doing the golf show for about 10 weeks now. Last week we had Jonathan Coachman from PGA Tour and CBS on, and, he reached out to us. So that's after 10 weeks of him reaching out to us to come on our show. I'm like, all right, I think our golf show, we got the right, system down. So,
yeah.
we've picked 5 of the last 7 winners outright on our show, so I kind of feel like we have a good system going down on what we're doing over there at Fairway to Heaven.
This is how you bring on a ringer, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Hey, you bring on these ringers, they only help me.
Well, let me tell you, when you make your picks, if I disagree with them, I'm going to pull the notebook out and I'm going to tell you I disagree with them.
There you go. So, hey, definitely kind of going to appreciate it. And we got some other kind of special announcements that we'll be making between your group as well as the Statement Games kind of team. So keep your eye out for that here. And yeah, looking forward to a pretty cool relationship, not only on the golf front here, but we'll be touching on some other things, whether it be baseball, get hockey and basketball playoffs coming up here. And then, of course, football's going to be here before you know it. So we'll see. But this is Masters Week. I mean, I take a look at what happened a few kind of months back with Dustin Johnston kind of winning kind of the Masters. Big kind of score. I believe it was 20 under, right? 20 or 21 kind of under, kind of won like the championship here. What I'm actually saying kind of this week here is, hey, you know what? The course is obviously in immaculate shape, but I mean, these greens look lightning fast. I think they're compressed, and I heard Mickelson kind of talking a little bit about it, before. So I don't know. I'm not going to go out on a limb and actually think that you're going to see another score at -20 as being like the overall tournament winner. But let me just kind of throw it over to you, because this is kind of your wheelhouse. Anything kind of special that you're looking at in terms of, scores, just overall thoughts leading into basically that first tee on Thursday morning.
So, like you said, 20 under. That was the November
Crazy.
Conditions. November conditions are different than what month of April conditions here. It is so, like you said, fast and firm as can be this week. You're going to see somewhere in that 14 to 16 under range. That's going to probably be your max out this week. But the one thing that everybody has to remember with the Masters, whether it's on Statement Games, whether it's on another site, when you're trying to figure out who's going to perform well or not, you've never had a first-time player win the Masters, okay? It's always somebody that's got a lot of there's a lot of talk between course history versus recent history when you're looking at the gambling aspect of golf. Some tournaments, recency history plays a big factor. Certain tournaments, course history plays a factor. The Masters is 110% course history. You have to have a history. It's the only regular tournament that you're not allowed to have the green books. So there's no cheating on the greens. You have to have a feel for them. And with how fast they are, that's where that recency. So you're not going to see, somebody that hasn't played here before in that top 5. It's just not going to happen.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Nathan, what are you thinking here? I know you're not a big golf guy, but whether it be like the Players' Championship or the Masters, the U.S. Open, the British Open, the PGA, do you lock into these things at all? Do you tune in? What's besides your high school golf days?
Yeah, I don't want to.
It's going to piss me off. You give me like another one of those ho hum answers. Oh, I don't really play golf. I don't know much about golf, and then you go 3 for 3 with your picks again. That's gonna irk me. So let's come up with something that's gonna not piss me off tonight.
I will sometimes catch a snippet of golf when it's on at the bar while I'm manning the door. So I know of there's a guy named Spieth, and then there's another guy that I believe got caught cheating recently, because I heard some people talking about it, picking up his ball.
Assuming he's talking about Reed.
Yeah, Patrick Reed.
Yep. I think that's it. I know there's some pretty scenery. Oftentimes, some rolling hills, maybe some water. And I generally know the rules as far as I've played the game before, lived down the road from a golf course, but it's one of those things where, I mean, I'd rather just be there doing it than watching it on TV. So very much this is not on my radar at all. So if I go 3 for 3, it's just going to make Mark that much more unhappy. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that.
Phil, on that note, do you play it all? I know you watch it, you gamble it, and you play it. You an avid golfer, and
yeah, I mean,
give us a little taste of what your handicap looks like these days.
It depends. Oh, I don't even want to talk about the handicap. It's not good. Long story short, I broke my leg in college playing football really bad. Kind of think of Alex Smith, and I basically had worse than him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so golf I picked up because it's the only sport that doesn't require running, which I cannot do anymore.
Hey,
so I didn't even pick up a golf club until I was 21. So I'm not a very good golfer, but I try to play, 10, 15, 20 times a year as best I can.
Hey, that's a lot. Yeah, that's almost once a week during like the summer months at least.
Absolutely. We have a group of guys that we try to go out every single week when we can. Obviously, last year with the wonderful world we live in, there was not much golf last year. But for the most part, we try to get out as much as we can. That's actually where this green jacket comes from. The winner of the group gets it every year.
All right.
You don't win by having the best score. You win by I don't know, being the most embarrassing. Maybe I don't know how to explain it without dropping a few bad words on the air here.
Well, I mean, how the hell can you get such a prestigious kind of green jacket here and be like the worst here? That's a complete contradiction of what it means to be wearing the green jacket.
I doubt he doesn't even have the internet, but I'm guaranteeing I got this green jacket because Franny, a guy in the golf group, he's the best golfer in the group. And we play skins, which is a quarter. I don't know if you guys know how to play skins, but we play a quarter or 50 cents a hole. And it rolled over for like 20 straight holes. And the hardest hole in the course, I birdied it and he bogeyed it. And I was playing with him that day.
It's a lot of skins that you picked up here, especially if there's 20 consecutive holes roll over.
I picked up like $200 in skins that day. And he's like, dude, you cheated somehow. I'm like, dude, you were right there watching me. So I think he got mad. So the rule is you have to wear the green jacket at least 3 times in public. And I'm hoping this counts as
all right.
Being in public here. Yeah.
This counts.
It doesn't fit, as you can see. Okay. It's not meant for
like a leprechaun jacket.
Yeah, it doesn't count, doesn't fit 6'2", 230-pound guys. So
all right. Well, I mean, look, this is one of the only tournaments that I actually look forward to watching golf, like basically from Thursday through kind of like, Sunday. I actually might kind of like, sneak out like a little bit towards the later Friday afternoon kind of like, session, but I like the whole kind of like, ceremonies that they do early Thursday kind of like in the morning. It's definitely one of those things that's on the bucket list to potentially get down to Augusta to at least kind of like, watch. I mean, I guess I'll dare to say, maybe one day, knock on wood, and with some good fortune here, I'd actually get a chance to play it. I'm not sure how the heck that's going to happen, but I guess we can all dream, right?
It's a dream.
But cool. I think, Nathan, let's go ahead and
let's get this going.
Get the big screen up here. Start making some picks. If you're actually just checking out this show for the first time, understand that Statement Games is just a game. You can access it via StatementGames.com. You can also find us in your favorite app store. Simply search on Statement Games Fantasy Sports. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to present you with a list of potential outcomes or props that are specific to the Masters. It's your job to go through this list and pick 10 of them. As you make your 10 picks, you're ranking them in order of confidence from 10 through 1. If your number 10 pick becomes correct, you get 10 points. If 9 through 1 become incorrect, well, now you just have a total of 10 points. You're always going to be playing a league of anywhere between 8 to 12 people, and the person with the most points from correct picks wins. It's a free-to-play game. It's your job to earn Statement Games coins or credits by finishing either first, second, or third in any contest that you actually play in. And ultimately, you want to exchange those coins for a cash gift card of your choice. Just check out the rewards tab. And in terms of an additional incentive, let's see. What do you think, Nathan? We'll go 10 for 10. Anybody who can go 10 for 10 with their picks, under the condition that they give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment in the comments box here with their username, as well as their number 10 pick. Go 10 for 10 with your picks. $200. What do you think?
There you go. Nice.
I mean,
some money on it.
All right,
Phil. Maybe we can actually get you to throw the location of your pizza place, kind of like in there as well. And if someone can go 10 for 10 with their picks and show this video to you, I'll physically buy their pie.
Hell, you go 10 for 10 on this with Masters Week, I'll throw the pizza in.
There you go. You get pizza, you got cash, you got rewards here. So people always ask us, right, Nathan? Here, well, what am I actually playing for?
All right. I'll give you more. I'll do more. I'll throw in something here. This is on the spot because I didn't even know you do this part of it.
All right.
If you could prove that you subscribe to the All About the Birds YouTube channel as well,
there you go.
Statement Games, I'll throw in a Fairway to Heaven, my golf show, a Fairway to Heaven hoodie or T-shirt or golf hat of your choice if you go 10 for 10.
I got to get one of those hoodies anyway. All right, so
we got a really kick-ass logo for Fairway to Heaven. So I will make sure if you can go 10 for 10 and you prove that you subscribe to the All About the Birds YouTube page. Yeah.
So let's get a little review here. So we got $200 cash, pizza, as well as either a hat, T-shirt, or hoodie of your choice from All About the Birds.
Absolutely, it's done.
Nice.
Nathan, can we get a subscription into the IDP guys as just for
Absolutely.
Good measure?
If you go 10 for 10,
this is probably the biggest, and we just did this all on the women. This is the biggest giveaway.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And we'll put all kind of details in the show notes and all that stuff as well. So subscription to IDP guys.
Well, here, let me do something because not everyone plays Dynasty football. There might be like a very small margin of people that play statement games like Philly sports and play Dynasty football. So I will give a custom T-shirt. I actually have it's a cool thing I did. I made these limited edition AA baseball logos T-shirts that I put out on Twitter. No one but my dad has one, so I will have it printed and I will send it out. I've got 4 different kinds. There's there's Escanaba sandwiches, there's Manitoba purple pandas, there's the Jersey City tire irons, and there is Exeter hot sauces. These are all fake AA baseball teams. I designed the logo, have them on T-shirts. I will give someone their choice.
Cool. Man. All right, that's a lot. I'll put it all in the notes here as well.
Yeah.
All right. So as Nathan always like to say, because I am fairly selfish and it's my show here, I always need to go ahead and make the first pick. I completely agree with a lot of the comments that Phil had actually made earlier, in the fact that this is a course for horses, so to speak here. So I think that people who have actually played well, past champions, definitely have a distinct competitive advantage over other people. So I'm kind of like looking at like the first pick, and hasn't been playing that bad. Nothing great, but not bad. Obviously loves the course. Has won the Masters Championship multiple times before. So I'm kind of like taking a look at that Gary Woodland versus Bubba Watson matchup, and I'm taking Bubba Watson to win as my number 10 pick.
No, you're right. I mean, Bubba Watson as a former champion definitely holds it over Woodland, and Woodland also hasn't played fantastic this year either. So I think that's a pretty solid pick right there to start it off with.
So you want Gary Woodland over, right?
I got Gary Woodland versus Bubba Watson. Bubba Watson, best finishing position.
Gotcha. Okay. So you want him? Sure. Okay.
So I got the approval from Phil, so I am keeping it. I am not changing it. I'm keeping that at number 10. Phil, you're up.
All right. So, if I told you a guy in his last, let's just say 5 events, finished in 9th, 10th, 11th, 5th, and 17th, and has, made the cut before at the Masters, would you say that's a pretty good golfer? And that's playing well and has had success at the Masters? Yeah.
That's
he's 5 straight events in the top 10 or better, top 11 or better. That is why I am really bullish. I love Matthew Fitzpatrick this week, especially in this thing. Matthew Fitzpatrick versus Tyrell Hatton. Hatton hasn't had great success at the Masters. He's played well, but not as much success here. I think on your board here, Matthew Fitzpatrick will definitely finish well above Tyler Hatton. Actually, Matthew Fitzpatrick's a top 5 or 10 finish, in my opinion, this week.
Interesting. All right, I'm just jotting that down because I have another pool that I'm going to be using that as a.
I can give you one more stat if you want information for pools on him. So if he's one of 4 people, I don't know how much you guys know about shots gained It's a big, telling, shots gained approach, shots gained total, putting there. It's the metric on judging golfers how they're playing. He's fourth in the last 50 rounds played on tour overall. And the other 4 guys are Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm, and Xander Schauffele. 3 other favorites to win the event. And he's right there with those 3 guys. That's how good Matthew Fitzpatrick's been playing the past year.
You like him in just this matchup, but do you actually think he's a good chance to win the tournament outright?
I have placed 5 outright bets to win the event, and he is one of the 5 bets. I got him at 31-1 to win. And I placed multiple units on him to win this week.
Fair enough.
Gotcha. He's not my favorite, but he's one of my top favorites.
He's one of them. Okay. Nathan, do your best here. You're up on 2, though. Start asking you questions, and
see,
let's get
this is also like Mark. So he's got to go first, but then he's also has to put me as a back-to-back so that, this is like a blind man shooting 2 half-court shots. So here's my question. Obviously, I mentioned before that I know of Jordan Spieth. I know that he's got to be decent because the last clip I saw, I think it was the last. Is it a match? Is it a game?
Won the tournament last week. Got off the schneid.
Okay, yeah, I saw him in like first place. So how is Scotty Scheffler?
Well, Scotty Scheffler was finished in second in the match play event 2 weeks ago. He was the rookie of the year last year. And last year was his first Masters event, and he finished tied for 19th place. So he's young, he's inexperienced, but he's one of the fastest up-and-coming golfers on tour.
Okay, but I'm going to kind of go back to, you had mentioned that a lot of experience goes into this this course. And if Spieth was number 1 last week, I'm pretty sure he's been around for a while. I've heard his name and years before, so I'm gonna take him over Scotty Scheffler. Like I said, blind man shooting a half court shot here, and see if that hits. The other question, and I'm kind of looking up here, so here's kind of a little bit to my strategy when I do these, especially when I'm going into a game blind, like don't know anything about the sport. I try and pick things that are a little bit more 50-50, And now I'm looking at golf, and I don't even know what the 50-50 shots are, really. But I do want to ask a little bit about your knowledge of, so the 72nd hole seems to be something. Is that the last hole? Is that just like a very difficult hole it's the
18th hole. It's the final hole of the 4th round, the final round. It's first off, the 18th hole is extremely difficult. It's a really long par 4, and you're talking about the 72nd hole, so that's the last hole of the event. So unless you have a multiple shot lead, a lot of tournaments are won and lost right there on that hole.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're talking about the tournament winner on this one, whether or not they will birdie. It's just, will they birdie? Mark, there isn't a won't birdie. Oh, it will par.
Yeah. Okay, so birdie or par. Yeah.
You're looking, you're thinking that the tournament winner will either birdie, which Phil says is going to be pretty tough to do. I mean, tough, kind of like par 4, or do you think that they'll actually get par? So either they're birdieing or par, something other than that, and you're out.
Okay.
But this is the tournament winner. This is not kind of like,
right.
Anybody. Yeah.
So they got to be doing pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll shoot my shot with this. This, I'm going to go with will par. Because I'm thinking that, they've got to be good, and they probably are going to be needing to hold a lead or whatever. So at least making it to par will be important to them. Birdie, I don't know. It might be, too much to go that far in, but this is kind of, to me, almost feels like a 50-50 shot. Like they're either going to par or they're going to go over par, I guess.
I mean, the basic way to answer the question is last year, Dustin Johnson won by several strokes. So he didn't need to birdie that. So do you think that the winner is going to win by more than one shot? Because if that's the case, they're not going to it's such a hard hole. They're not going to push it on that hole unless they have to, because they make one mistake trying to get a birdie, turns into a bogey. They lose 2 shots and they lose the event. So if you think the leader is going to go to the 18th hole with a 2-stroke lead, what was Dustin Johnson, I think, had a 4-stroke lead going into the last hole last year. So if you think that's going to be the way it plays out, then par is 100%, the pick there.
So now in a professional level, how often does a player bogey go over par?
On the 18th, I don't know if there's I don't have an exact stat on that. Sorry,
or just like any hole. I mean,
I think that
it seems like it would be like a less than. You think that happens a lot? I mean, I figured like you have to be good at this game, right? So.
But I think it comes down to the fact that normally the Masters, when you're at the 72nd hole and you're the leader, if you think back of most of the winners, every Tiger Woods, he's won it how many times? Phil Mickelson's 3 times winning. Dustin Johnson last year. You're never seeing them have to make a 50-foot birdie putt to win the event. They're taking their long shot. They're making 2 putts. They're tapping it. You're not seeing some huge, like, holy crap, I just won the Masters celebration. You're seeing, yes, I sealed the deal, more subdued, because most of the time at the Masters, that winner on the 18th hole doesn't need that to get there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with this. I'll let that ride. I think that's a good one. So, Mark, this goes back up to Phil, right?
This goes back up to Phil, yep.
Oh, man, I'm still trying to push this here and figure out, what I've got going on. There's so many great choices. And some of them, are really, really tough choices here. I mean, I'm looking at DeChambeau and DJ, 2 guys I love this week.
That's the heavyweight match, That's
man. I would literally not leave my chair if they were playing in the final group together. I would literally sit there the entire time. There's so many of them I love. The Justin Thomas, John Rahm one's another great one. I'm looking at I'm looking at Xander Schauffele versus Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed, everybody hates Patrick Reed. I love Patrick Reed.
I love Patrick Reed too.
I love him. But you know what? He's been actually playing really below average this year. And Xander Schauffele is just a beast. And he hasn't won a whole hell of a lot on the PGA Tour, but he has just been he's been a top 5 machine pretty much his whole career. And he is this close to winning a major event. He's played really well here before. I mean, if I'm looking at matchups and picking somebody, Xander Schauffele will finish higher than Patrick Reed, no doubt. Probably by a good 10 strokes. Because I don't know. Patrick Reed, I know he's a former champion, but Patrick Reed is not in the right frame of mind with his game this week. And in the last month or two.
With somebody who hasn't won at the Masters level versus somebody who's
– This is just who's winning out of the 2 players, right?
All right. Yeah, that's
he's going to finish higher. I already have a top 5 finish bet on Xander Schauffele. So I think him and Fitzpatrick are 2 of the 5 in the top 5 this week.
All right. I actually had already selected Patrick Reed winning. So no, this is all kind of part of the game. We're playing kind of against each other, but we're also playing as a team here. So obviously I'm not going to make the Patrick Reed pick just for the purposes of making it. I'm still going to fill out the card here. A little nervous with this pick, just because this person hasn't won Masters. But he's been playing extremely kind of well when you take a look at what he's actually been doing over the course of like the last 4 weeks. Now, the guy that he's going up against is just basically one of those young, up-and-coming kind of studs. But what is your take? I like Lee Westwood, so I'm taking a look at that Collin Morikawa versus Lee Westwood kind of matchup here, and I'm taking Lee Westwood to win.
That was the other one I was looking at before I made my Xander pick and all. I haven't seen. I was really busy at work today. Do we know who his caddy is this week, Lee Westwood? Because he finished in second place twice with his fiance on his bag, and then the next week he put his son on his bag and he missed the cut. So if his fiance's holding the bag for him, he wins, no problem. But I'm not sure. Now, Collin Morikawa, I mean, he just won the PGA championships. He leads the entire PGA in strokes gained on approach, which is your second shot, which is super, super important at the Masters. And he's got 2 top 10s and a W this year. Plus, he won the PGA last year. I mean, I love Collin Morikawa this week. I can't see. I know you're leaning towards Lee Westwood, but I can't see Lee Westwood finishing above Collin Morikawa.
All right, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one here.
But Lee Westwood, though, he's finished second and third how many times at the Masters? So he has a lot of great course history.
Gotcha.
All right, so now we just kind of like do regular process again. So Phil, you're actually up on the next one.
Oh, so I got to go again here. Let's see here. Again, lots of great picks here. It's so tough and all. I'll save the overall winner number for somebody else to pick. But let me look at my numbers here. Oh, man. We're going to have to go. This is a really tough one because people love Daniel Berger and Webb Simpson. Two guys that it could go either way. But Webb Simpson, the last 3 Masters he's played in, he's had a 10th place, a 5th place, and a 20th. He's only missed a cut once in his entire career at the Masters. Again, another guy that great second shot player. I'm going to go Webb Simpson over Daniel Berger as a better finisher. Because, Daniel Berger, he's also had a rib injury this year off and on. He's withdrawn from an event. I think actually twice he's withdrawn from an event this year because of a rib injury. So, you suck it up when it's the Masters, but, that could be a lingering thing that affects him this week on the course.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Nathan, last one.
All right. So I'm gonna try the strokes, and I'm thinking that going along the lines of like you said, that the tournament winner needs to be kind of have a decent lead to then par on the 72nd hole. So I think that leads me to go right for the wins by over 2.5 strokes, and I think I'm gonna lock that one in. Does that sound? I mean, the logic must be there.
Both those over-unders, the overall tournament winner number and the over-under on strokes, I think that is like literally those two numbers are a bettor's like nightmare because I think they're both spot on where it literally could go, 2 or 3 and the other one, 15 or 16. That is like a nightmare to pick right there. But I think if you have to lean one way or the other, if it goes to the way I'm expecting, the guy I think that's going to win it is going to win by 3 to 4 strokes, or about 3 strokes probably.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. That is my last one. So what are we doing? We're wrapping back up. Phil, then Mark to finish off.
No, I get my last one, and then the bonus one will go to Phil. I mean, we touched upon this. I was hopeful that somebody else would have touched it, but I mean, we got to talk about it. We got to go ahead and take it here. I wanted to get like another guy into my or our particular lineup, especially the past kind of like champions team. I mean, this is the big one. I'm talking about the DeChambeau versus Dustin Johnston kind of matchup here, and I mean, how can you not kind of take the guy that actually just won the Masters 5 months ago by more than 5 strokes and a 20 under par here? So I'll take the Bryson DeChambeau versus Dustin Johnson matchup, and I'll take Justin Johnson to win.
Man, it's another one of those. So
it's a toss-up, but look, it's the Masters, and we got to talk about it unless you plan on touching that as the final pick. But
so if you think about it, Dustin Johnson has finished in the top 10 of the Masters every single year since 2014 through last year.
Yep.
But on the flip side of the equation, recency, 48th at the Players Championship. He didn't make it out of his group at the match play. 54th at the Workday Championship match. 8th at the Jet. I mean, he's not played fantastically. I mean, he's played good, not great by his standards since winning the Masters. And Bryson, that's my guy to win it this week. I think Bryson DeChambeau wins the Masters this week. He's never finished in the top 20, but he's played it a couple times now. He's figured it out. All of a sudden, people don't realize that Bryson is a really good putter all of a sudden. He's actually figured out how to putt the ball. And I think, his distance, I mean, he's going to shrink that course so much. I don't know if you guys saw the video of him on the range on Monday with VJ Singh in the background laughing. He was just pumping like a robot, just ripping it and ripping it like a long drive contest guy. I mean, he has basically built his whole game and his whole career around wanting to win this one event. And I think he does it. But I mean, if you're picking Dustin over Bryson, I mean, that's like, 1A and 1B right there. I mean, you cannot go wrong picking either one.
I didn't want to pick it, but I mean, look, I think we have to for the show and for content purposes.
Well, and
what
you're
you
only
just
wagering,
gave is exactly what I wanted for the show here. We had to talk about that matchup a little bit.
You're only wagering 2 points at it, so one way or another, it's not going to tank the card.
There you go. All right, Phil, close it out, and then I got 2 questions for you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, someone's got to pick the overall tournament winner, the over/under, right? I mean, it wouldn't be fun if you didn't at least.
You know what? We're on the same page. So I was thinking that one as well.
Yeah, you got to pick that, and I don't think it's going to get to 20 under par like last year with Dustin Johnson, but it's got to be the over 15.5. You got people like Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, these guys that. We talked back in the day when Tiger first came around, everybody was Tiger proofing courses. And now they're talking about Bryson proofing courses and all these other long drivers making rules. The Players Championship, they added out of bounds, on the course so that players didn't take chances. And,
Crazy.
It's ridiculous because people pay to go see the big hitters.
Yeah.
And, a big hitter is going to jump out to a lead on day 3 that cannot be, overtaken. And I would say the winner is probably going to finish in that 16, 17 under par. So I'm going the over 15.5.
Nice.
There you go. There's our card.
So before I go and hit save on this, is there any adjustments to the points that we're putting on for these? Do we want to move anything around? This is kind of the last chance to do so. I don't know if anything's like showing up as like, oh man, that is so much more of a possibility than something else.
No, I think it looks pretty solid.
I think we're good right there.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that, we're locked in. And if you are playing the tournament, we're playing as SG Live is our handle. So if you see that in your tournament, in your matchup, then know that you're playing against us.
Sounds good.
There you go. All right, Phil. I got 2 quick ones for you. I mean,
Absolutely.
Obviously, it was pretty freaking common to watching Phil put up like that 10 spot kind of like in the last week, basically kind of like the cut here. But I guess the bright side is he got out of that tournament kind of like early. He already got a practice round in at the Masters on Sunday. He's been there for a while. He's got 3 green jackets himself. I understand that he's getting up there in age here, but he does hit the freaking ball kind of like a ton, and the short game is kind of like his MO, and where if you can actually put the ball at the right tier level on these greens here, and just because he's a sentimental favorite, any chance and any long shot, where are you thinking kind of Phil sneaking into this tournament? Making the cut, not making the cut, being a factor on Sunday, makes the cut, but not a factor at all? What's your thoughts on Phil?
I think you've got a pretty darn good chance of him making the cut, no doubt about it. Again, Masters history, you got people like him, Adam Scott, guys that have won this event multiple times. I think if Tiger Woods could walk and he came out of the hospital and showed up tomorrow, I'd put him at a good shot at winning, or not winning, making the cut. On the flip side of the equation, him being a factor on Sunday, I mean, the Masters has 89 players in it. Top 50 in ties make the cut. I mean, this is a who's who of golfers in this event. He can make the cut. I mean, I'm looking at his, recent history on the PGA Tour. He missed the cut at the Valero last week, but again, he doesn't miss that cut if he doesn't have that 10 on his scorecard. He makes the cut, because he missed the cut.
We also know that if Phil's not really interested in the tournament, he can, just mosey around kind of like the course and just, get on to the next thing here. I think he's working on a couple of things during the Valero and then getting over to the Masters as quickly as possible.
I look at it. I look at his scorecard or his recency history. Last year at the Masters, he finished 55th place, so he made the cut again. Yep. I'm looking at the Players Championship, another stacked field. He's been playing a little bit on the Senior Tour, a little bit on the Pro Tour. He's made 4 of his last 6 cuts on the Pro Tour, and he finished in 35th place at the Players Championship. So I think that's about his max because, again, it was another event, stacked field where every top golfer was in it. I don't think he can compete, but top 30, top 25, I mean, that's his max out for sure, in my opinion. He is not
it's fair.
a major
Making the
factor
cut,
on
but
Sunday.
that 25 to 35 range is if you're going to play him, that's kind of like where you're looking.
Yeah, I know a lot of betting sites let you make bets on top 20 and top 30. I would say a top 30 is a pretty sure bet, in my opinion. Top 20, that's a stretch, in my opinion.
Okay. And I also just wanted to kind of ask you a little bit more about Brooks Koepka. I mean, obviously top 10 in 2020, had the knee kind of surgery, still striking the ball really kind of well, playing well, but it's that knee. And if you take a look at the contours of Augusta and things like that, very hilly, a lot of different kind of slopes here, could potentially put a lot of strain on that knee, especially if he's kind of facing a downhill lie, but the ball kind of above your feet type of a scenario. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Koepka and his ability to potentially compete this weekend, or at least kind of be in the competitive grouping come kind of Sunday? Is that something that you're looking for? Do you think he needs some more time to rehab? Give me your thoughts on Koepka.
Well, I already placed a bet 3-1 on him missing the cut, so I think that sums up my answer right there. I mean, look, he just had knee surgery 4 weeks ago. You just said it. The elevation changes. People don't realize watching on TV that the changes in elevation on this course. His doctor already came out last week and said he wasn't going to play in the Masters, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, I'm going to play." There's no way, in my opinion, that knee can hold up for 4 rounds. Even if he makes the cut by Saturday, which they call moving day at the Masters, he's going to be falling down that leaderboard. There's no way an 8-week plus recovery from a knee surgery can be recovered and be competitive in less than 4 weeks. You just can't. I mean, you might be able to, be walking a little quicker or doing some things, but the Masters, no. There's no way, in my opinion, that he can compete. Now, I'm just a guy. Now, when we do our show later tonight on All About the Birds Network, the Fairway to Heaven show, my partner, Jason Sullivan, on that show, he might have a completely different opinion. He might laugh at my miscut bet there. But, my opinion, he's not making the cut this weekend.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I mean, we'll wrap this this up on that note here. We'll notify you when we release it. Nathan will probably be at some point later on, I guess tonight or potentially tomorrow morning, and Wednesday. But before we do, give us just one more last quick shout out. Where can people find Fairway to Heaven? Where can they kind of find you on social media? Give us all that good stuff one more time. All
right, so you can find me on Twitter, obviously at Beard of Knowledge. And I have all my accounts linked from there, all about the birds. It's AAT Birds. It's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Fairway to Heaven is also on Twitter at Fairway, the number 2, Heaven _ whatever. You can find that on my page. But we do that show every Tuesday night live on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel, which is an All About the Birds YouTube channel. They're the things to follow. And, we put out plenty of picks, winners, bets, and everything else. We do fantasy football. Eagles. It's not just Eagles talk. We pretty much have a show covering almost everything. And there's new shows coming. I know Mark knows about that. I know we've already talked about some new shows that are coming on the All About the Birds network.
Nice. Awesome. Nice. Hey, this was fun, man. Really appreciate you taking a couple minutes and coming on. I know that you're cutting your show later on tonight, but this was great, Nathan. What'd you think? Our first golf show in the books.
We'll see how I do. Mark, I mean, do you want to put anything down on whether or not I go over 500 with my picks this week?
I actually like your picks. I like your picks a lot this week here, which basically means you're going to probably go maybe 0 for 3 if you're lucky, 1 for 3.
True. That is true. All right. Well, with that, everyone out there, make sure that you're following Statement Games on all socials at Statement Games. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Statement Games Inc., as well as make sure you're playing Statement Games on your favorite mobile device or on desktop, statementgames.com. With that, Mark, see you later this week. Phil, nice to meet you. Look forward to conversing with you off air.